Since I quit drinking about 16 months ago now, my life has got more structured. It's like I've gone from chaos to order in less than a year and a half, and it's a very peculiar feeling. It's like all of the things that I've put off in my life because I was too busy trying to chase good feelings and be social and be this like outgoing life of the party. All of the stuff that I was putting off to the wayside is now right in front of my face, and I'm finally starting to deal with it, and I'm putting it all the pieces back together. Like I'm seeing all the pieces, and they're just been kind of laying there before me. And it's a very interesting thing. It's like I've never actually felt like I've grown up, and I'm starting to feel like I'm maturing in a certain way. And it's kind of odd. It's kind of cool. Like I've never been a handyman. I've never had that in my life, but I'm starting to get it. It's weird. Like I just built up this dilapidated wall in my backyard. It's this wall that I've been staring at my house for the last 5 years, and I've been wanting to do something about it. I just haven't. And I finally did. And it's weird how good it makes me feel, like the structure of it, not seeing this dilapidated wall being held up by a pallet and like a stick, and you know what I mean, and just hanging on for dear life, waiting for my dog to just knock it over. And it's happened at work as well. Like I used to think I was detail oriented until I started working around some very competent, very smart, very vigilant and detail oriented people. And that's the other thing too, is like I'm noticing that I'm in such a different environment where these people that I work with, they hold themselves and their own work to a higher standard than I've ever worked with with any kind of people that I've ever worked with in the past. And it's cool because that standard that they're holding themselves to, I'm starting to hold myself to. It's like I'm building my own standards for being in this world. And so it's kind of like they're reaching down, pulling me up with them. And it's a good place to be because I never really understood that, you are who you hang around with. And it's true, these people are in their own way that they may not be consciously doing it, but they're helping me. Like I'm seeing these standards and I'm implementing them into my life. And other places that I've worked, it was almost like mediocrity was like the standard. Like slacking was what got you ahead almost, if that makes sense. You're proud of it in a certain way, or at least I was. I don't know. I'm just understanding that a lot of places I've been has kind of held me down to a mediocre standard, and now I'm getting pulled back up. And I think it's all part of this last year and a half of just finding more structure in my life. And even in school, I go to the U of A right now, and I'm studying psychology. I want to be a psychedelic therapist, and great news, ibogaine just got federally descheduled, I believe. I don't know. I think people, more veterans and people, are going to have more access to it because it helps with addiction. Something like 80% of people who try ibogaine become addiction free, and if they do it a second time, it's like 90%. But anyway, I'm going to school, and my school is more structured than like a year and a half ago I started at university, and I was completely overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed with work, with school, with home life. I had just stopped drinking. I was anxiety ridden, you know what I mean? And I've just been working through it, and I'm finally at this place where my job is on point. My school is on point. I'm creating content. I'm doing projects around my house. Everything is getting built back up. And I'm starting to see now, like, I let myself get so far behind in life by just letting everything fall by the wayside when I could have been building this structure in my life the whole time. And, I'm not beating myself up too much here because we're all on our own path and it all happens with due time. But there is a point where it's like you have to make the choice because there's, there obviously we can get stuck in a lot of different phases of our life. And if we don't be mindful of this, we can get lost in the shadows of our life, which I felt like I was doing up until a few years ago. I was lost in the shadows of my life and I didn't know how to escape it. And the one thing that really catapulted me forward was getting sober. Stopped drinking and I stopped smoking weed and I stopped doing a lot of stuff. And it finally helped me focus, and I'm not saying this is what everyone needs to do. I think it would help most people, because one man's poison is another man's medicine. Some people completely function just fine and find that alcohol or drinking just enhances their lives, their social lives, their world in general. Some people are very functional smoking weed all day. Not me. That's not me. And I had to realize that I was slowly numbing myself. I wasn't even an alcoholic. I was just somebody who would drink just enough to just dampen my ambition for life, and just stay in that mediocre hamster wheel, and never really try to pursue my goals with full intent, and strip all of the necessary things away from me that were, you know, really just dragging me down. And for me, it was just alcohol, and my life has just completely turned around, and I'm so grateful for it. But if you're really, really looking for something to just help you out, I think, you know, definitely getting sober and really just turning your life and all of the chaos in your life into something a little bit more structured. Turn your chaos into order. And it's weird. Like we hear Jordan Peterson telling us for the last 5-10 years, clean your room. And it's true. And I'm not saying to become neurotic and OCD about everything in your life where everything has to be immaculate and everything has to be in order. Definitely, like, let the house get dirty every now and then. You know what I mean? But if you notice that you start cleaning up a section of your house or cleaning up the inside of your car and your office at work, and you start to get a little bit less stress in your life, that's a real thing. Your environment is a reflection of your inner world, you know and we don't need to chase perfection, but there's a lot less going on when things are clean. you know It's the same thing with your diet, with the things you consume. Strip it all down and start noticing a different difference in your life, because that's one thing, is that a lot of this growth stuff, a lot of this, you know, personal development, it's not about adding things onto your life. It's about stripping things away and throwing stuff that you don't need away. You know, thanks for stopping in. I hope this video helped. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, drop a comment, share it with a friend. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.